Well, hello there. Just about the most common question I get owning an agency is how much does it cost to sponsor somebody on Twitch? How do I get sponsored on a live streaming platform? How much money do these streamers make when they're getting sponsored? And I am here to answer all of those questions today. Not only answer those questions, I'm actually going to do you a solid, a one up on that, because I always wondered, why doesn't somebody just create a tool that just answers this question? You could just go to a website somewhere, you could build an app or something, you go to an app website or somewhere and just type in some information and get information about how much you're worth as a content creator or how much somebody else is worth as a content creator. If only somebody built that and like owned a company that could do that. Yeah, so we did that. So we've got one. This is the Twitch sponsorship calculator. It says Twitch on it, but you can do it for every single live stream platform. It works for everybody. TikTok works for Kick, works for anybody. So in this video, we're going to go over pretty much everything there is to know about sponsorships on live stream platforms. And although I use Twitch as it's more of just kind of like an honorable mention because Twitch is kind of my old home. So I like that and I like using it. So understanding a sponsorship is section 1. Then we're going to go over how the calculator actually works and how to use it. It's completely free. Anybody can use it. No ads on the website or anything. Just totally free. There's no catcher or anything. And then some other considerations about sponsorships. So the idea is not just that you can like use this calculator, but also that you understand it and you'll be able to price yourself and you'll be able to like help other content creators price themselves. So refer to this video. There's a lot of details and things like that. Okay. All right. So first up is we're going to do section 1, which is understanding a sponsorship. Understanding Twitch sponsorship, again, just keep in mind throughout this entire video, this works for any live streaming platform. So I'll just try to change to understanding a sponsorship. Basically, you are a company and you have a product or service, okay? And you want influencers to talk about your product or service. So you pay an influencer for a period of time to talk about it. That is all that a sponsorship really is, okay? And there's basically 2 reasons to get a sponsorship. And the first reason is sales. So you want people to buy your thing and you're tracking this as a brand, okay? And the second reason is exposure, which means that you want people to talk about your thing. And you define success usually by engagement. Those are the only 2 reasons to really sponsor somebody anywhere, ideally to buy something or to get more people talking about that thing, okay? So the way that this is accomplished on live streaming platforms, there's kind of a meta to it. There's a way of doing it. I have some qualms about that way of doing it, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. They basically happen 2 ways. Number 1 is as follows. A company hires an influencer to do 1 to 4 hours of live streaming, and they pay them hourly for that. So this is usually for games, because most of the stuff that's done in terms of sponsorships on Twitch is gaming related. But sometimes for high sales related campaigns, like e-commerce and types of things, there will be these hourly campaigns. Most likely, if you've seen a sponsorship on Twitch, you'll see #ad in the description of the Twitch stream, and a person goes on, plays a game for a couple of hours, and then they're done. That's like 90% of the sponsorships that happen on Twitch. And about 10% of them are the other kind, as follows, which is a company hires an influencer to partner up for a longer period of time, usually about a month, as kind of a brand ambassador. So you say, hey, we're taking on this sponsor, like Athletic Greens or like Factor or somebody, Gamer Sups. You see a lot of those kind of type of things, the Gamer Fuel type of companies, where they are sponsoring an individual to represent that brand for a period of time. So these are the 2 ways that it happens, either hourly or monthly. That's why you'll see on the calculator that we're going to go through in a little bit, there are basically those 2 abilities to go through, okay? Now, I also want you to understand how a sponsorship is actually structured. And to do that, we're going to understand a word called deliverables. A deliverable is basically something that you as an influencer do for a company to help advertise their product and service, okay? So there are a bunch of different types of deliverables. We're going to go over some of the most common. And in another video somewhere, I will do like a full breakdown on every deliverable you can possibly do as related to a sponsorship. But generally, you're going to see kind of the same deliverables. And the idea here, okay, when you're thinking about this as a content creator or as a person that's trying to learn this, or as just an interested individual, is you want to start understanding these terms, because this is going to help you construct those deals, these campaigns, where you say, okay, so now that we know kind of the basic skeleton of how a sponsorship will work, you can kind of figure out, all right, I'm going to build a campaign that is maybe exposure driven. So maybe I'm going to go for somebody that's like a larger broadcaster. I'm going to, I want them to get as much exposure as possible. So I'm going to bring my game out into the world. This guy has like 10,000 viewers, or this girl has like 15,000 viewers. I want them to stream for 2 hours. And here are the following deliverables I'm going to have them do during that stream. And that's basically your deal. Like, you're an agent now. Congratulations. Like, you can outcompete me. All right, here we go. That's the structure of a basic deal, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's talk about some of the deliverables that you're going to see quite often in terms of sponsorships, and then we'll talk about how to price them and how to kind of figure out how the value of it works. Okay, ad displays. These are just ads that pop up, not the ads that you see on a Twitch stream. Those are actually served by Twitch or by the platform like TikTok or something, like a takeover ad that takes up the whole screen. That's bought by Twitch, or sorry, it's sold by Twitch as inventory space, and they're paying you back a portion of that ad revenue through their own system. That's a whole separate thing. When you see like a banner pop up on a stream and it like shows the company, that is indicative that the broadcaster has put that there and that they're getting paid for that. Ad displays are some of the most common. Next, you have title sponsorships. So this is just having your name of your brand or your product in the title of the stream. Surprisingly, in like 2023 and 2024, I have not seen as many of these deliverables priced, aka this just sort of comes as an expectation for the influencer. You absolutely can price this. It has value. And next, we're going to go over the most important one, which is CTAs. This is absolutely the most important thing you need to know. A CTA is a call to action. What does that mean? A call to action is like, hey guys, I want to talk to you guys about my favorite brand of water. That is Ozarka. It actually is my favorite brand of water. Not hashtag not sponsored. This is just an example. I don't think even know you can get this water unless you're in Texas. Man, do I like this spring water. I go to Whole Foods. I drink it. It is so much more watery than water. Let me tell you what. Do not trust any of these other hoser brands. This is the absolute best brand. It tastes so silky smooth. I love it. I drink a gallon every day. Okay. And to learn more about that, go to www. That's a call to action, okay? Call to action is a very powerful, in fact, the most powerful way that an influencer has to direct somebody to do something, either to buy a product or to go to a website or to sign up for something or to register for something. Whatever that call to action is, there is no more powerful thing in influencer marketing than CTAs. CTAs are everything when it comes down to influencer marketing. They drive the most sales. They drive the most engagement. They get people to do things, okay? So for that reason, CTAs are the singular like price consideration pretty much, and everything else is just kind of a secondary price. Like how many calls to action you're going to do, and how in terms of your deliverables, are you in that time of that hour or two, how many times you're going to call somebody to act on something. Hey guys, this game is sponsored by Path of Exile, my favorite game, and I want you guys to go to pathofexile.com and register for an account. And if you do that with code blah, 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 that's a call to action. How many times do you do that, right, kind of dictates like your price, okay? So keep that in mind for later. Going to be super important. Here's a couple more. Next one is info panel, okay? Info panel is the panel that appears below a Twitch stream. Now, we know from our data that this Twitch calculator here, the sponsorship calculator, has been done on over 2,000 deals. So we've put in the information of 2,000 deals, about 2,100 deals actually, 2,116 deals, if you want to be really specific, as of today. And we found out that in the info panel, so the number of viewers that actually go down and look at the info panel and like figure out and engage there with what you're doing. So if you put like an ad there for like the sponsor, that is usually between 1 and 5 viewers per 100 or 1 to 5%. It's a very minimal amount, and that's not even guaranteeing those people will actually engage. So typically we price info panel like really, really low. This is not going to be a big deal. It's just kind of a nice add-on. Likewise with chatbot and chatbot commands, it is pretty difficult to justify a sponsorship on this, especially with larger streams. If you're following the time of this recording, Kai Sanat is going through a brutal campaign on Elden Ring, trying to survive the Blade of Makila. And if you look at this, you can see how fast this chat is moving right now. There is no shot that any kind of like sponsored command or anything like this is going to actually like go through that chat, right? So this is typically lower value, higher value in smaller broadcasts, and so it gets a weighted advantage in smaller broadcasts for how much it's priced for, which we'll get into all that stuff later. Now, these are the main ones that we're dealing with, and these are also the ones that are on the calculator. However, I am going to include a bunch of other ones just for the content creators out there that are listening to this, or the potential content creators, so that you guys have some more tools and resources. We're not going to discuss pricing these in this video, but these are going to be some things that you can consider, and those are sponsored giveaways, unboxings, other social media posts. So, like, can you leverage like a Twitter or Instagram or something you have? Discord ads. Actually, we have had like outsized results on Discord. Sponsoring Discord stuff. For people that don't know, I run a company called Novo, which is a ad agency for brands. We work for brands and we spend advertising dollars to get results. We have seen incredible results on Discord lately. I've been so impressed by it. Sponsored story content that's on like an Instagram or like a YouTube live or something. Social takeovers, live events, and naming rights. Again, we could do a whole video on pretty much every one of those. We're not gonna. So we are going to instead start going through the calculator, and then we're going to show you some values, and it's going to blow your mind on how much broadcasters are actually worth and provide some definitive answers on that I have never seen before. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk a little bit about how this calculator works, just because there's going to be some people that wonder. This calculator is an impressions and engagement-based calculator that uses a formula based on, like I said, a little bit over 2,000 deals, and we try to determine the price that a person is worth, okay? We have two ways of determining that. This is for a monthly sponsorship here, and then we have a hourly sponsorship, okay, and the rate respective for both. Generally, for monthly, we have a weighted, we weight certain deliverables, and we weight certain aspects of a channel that are kind of proprietary. So we'll look at the channel, we'll go through some calculations, we'll figure some stuff out. But one of the main metrics we do use is called 90-day AVD, which is average view duration, or average viewers over 90 days. So how many viewers that person has had over a 90-day period. Why do we use that for monthly rate? Well, because that will give us some kind of indication of the consistent viewers that are likely to view a broadcast over a month. Because some streams are very spiky. They have a ton of viewers for like an event, and then they don't have many viewers at all. So for monthly, we want to get a 90-day moving average of that person so that we can get a good rate. So that's how we calculate. That's the basis of what we calculate. Then we have a bunch of other formulas. For hourly, though, we only care about ACV, which is the average concurrent viewers that are available at any given time to watch something. Okay, so that's all we kind of look at. And then once again, just to go through the weights of these systems, we're looking at the chatbot rotation timer. Again, that's and the command to enter it. These are pretty low value, but they do increase in value. We award higher weights to those the smaller the broadcast is. For larger broadcasts, they are basically worthless. Likewise, info section. Larger broadcasts get a little bit of a boost on this just for sheer volume of the number of people that are available. But the on-screen rotation timer stays consistent no matter what, because ad displays are just really good. And then, of course, the calls to action, we just assume you're going to have calls to action. Okay, so let's start from large to small on what streamers are actually worth and how this is going to work. But before that, I want to give you two quick shout outs. The first one is to you might want to support me because this is all free and I don't charge for this stuff. That'd be great. Well, you can go to patreon.com/Devin Nash. What is patreon.com/Devin Nash? It is a repertoire of over 200 videos right now. Okay, the last one was posted like 4 days ago. And I just post these for $5. You get access to the entire library. You can literally just sign up for $5 and then stop the subscription and just get all the videos if you want. I don't really care. I just make these to help people out. There's also mastermind sessions for people that are interested in like a more like direct work with me and want to talk to me every week. We have a session that happens live on Discord on Saturday, every Saturday at 3 p.m. PST. And those are often some really great episodes. We have all kinds of ways on building businesses. Just the latest stuff we find out in a multi-million-dollar agency. There's about 58 of them or 59 of them now, and each one of these is about 2 or 3 hours. There's just so much stuff on this Patreon. So please do give that a check out if you are interested in supporting me. Likewise, I also run a company called Novo. If you are a brand or listening to this and you're like, wow, this guy sounds like he knows a lot of stuff, and I have advertising dollars that I want to spend, well, you can contact us right down here and say, contact us, shoot me an email, we'll talk, and we'll talk about running your budget in this year and see if we can derive some good results for you. So those are the two shout outs, and now let's get into the big stuff. All right, thank you everybody for supporting me and for always just the wonderful comments, by the way, that I get on these videos. This is the 14-minute call out, 1411 officially, for people that want to leave a comment and are still here and heard the call out and didn't skip it. We're actually moving through this pretty fast. for a Devin Nash video, typically this would be like a 24 or 25 minute call out. Okay. So let's start working with some streamers here and kind of see how this works. My personal pretty much favorite broadcaster at the moment in time is Kai Cenat. I think he's just a true visionary of live streaming. He's so far ahead of the game. And we're going to get an idea just by clicking this of how much he is worth. $23,669 to $47,338 per hour. Now, Kai Cenat might be watching this YouTube video, and he might be like, "Yo, dog, you are bugging." Isn't that what the young people say these days? I'm bugging. I'm in the process of being a bug. I would get paid a lot more than that. Well, Kai Cenat would be right, and also Kai Cenat would not be watching a Devin Nash video. But if he was, he would be right. He would be worth way more than this. So the first thing you need to understand about this calculator and about all types of Twitch deals is the following. The larger a broadcast is, or the larger a streamer is, the harder it is to price. Why? Because at a certain level, you are paying a premium for people because there is about 50 to 100 people in live streaming at all above like 10,000 plus CCVs, and that's like maybe it's probably like way closer to like 50, might be like 30. There's not that many people. Okay, so Kai is worth a lot more than $40,000 an hour, because if just like Mr. Beast, if we were to price Mr. Beast's like stream or his YouTube or something like that, we would not like really get a very accurate representation of it, because there are so many premiums. The way that you work with Kai is you call up his agent and his team and you go, okay, how much are you going to cost? And they give you a number. And I have talked to many A and S list celebrity type people who would come onto Twitch and probably pull 200 or 300 live viewers, and they literally tell me over the phone, well, their manager tells me, this is $1 million to get through the door. Like, if this deal is not worth $1 million, don't talk to me. So I'm talking about like Snoop Dogg level people, like that kind of thing. Okay, so there is a totally different realm of existence for like the top 5 to top 10 people that this tool is not designed to cover. This tool is designed to cover and provides accurate information for anyone in the range of about 1 to, I would say, about 7,500 viewers, and then above that gets a little bit shaky, but still is very quite accurate. But for the very largest top people that have like 40,000, 50,000 viewers, even 20,000 viewers, those people are always going to have bespoke deals. The information is correct, the price of it is correct, but the just the limited inventory, the fact that they don't really need it, because like look at a guy like Kai. Okay, let's go back to that Twitch stream for a second, and I'll just kind of show you something that I mean about like how insane that is. Okay, and why this guy might not accept sponsorships. So we look at this, and you're going to see this like number on this screen. And that number right there is 103,209. What is that number? That number is the number of subs that guy has right now. So we're just going to plug in a little math right now. We're going to look at that, and then we're going to times that by 3.5, which is the number of dollars that he gets per one of those. And he's making $361,000 a month times 12. He's getting 4.3 mil just off subs alone. That doesn't include ad revenue, which is another like 4 million on top of that. It doesn't include anything that he's got going on in the background. Thusly, you can see that sponsorships are kind of pointless at some level for the scale of these broadcasters. They do more damage to their brand by accepting a sponsorship, unless it's massive and they really fit with it, than they would if they just do their thing. Okay, so large broadcasters, we're gonna like we can price them, but we're gonna kind of keep that kind of stuff in mind. Let's go down a notch from the craziness that this guy is, and let's go to somebody who's like one of my personal favorite streamers who I watch all the time, and that is Moon Moon. Moon Moon is a comedy broadcaster, plays a lot of GTA, plays a lot of like variety type of games, Mario Maker type of stuff. Now we're getting a price that's like a little bit more realistic. This is 6.5 thousand to 17.5 thousand. Now you might say, Devin, the variance on this looks really high. Why is it such a huge range? Because of the aforementioned lesson that we had in the earlier video, which is the number of calls to action in the deliverable. Okay, so for like one call to action an hour, this is like your base rate. But for anywhere between like 5 to 6, he can get paid up to like this number. Okay, so the variance is in the deliverables. At a minimum, he's getting paid like 6.5K an hour. At a maximum, he's getting paid about like 18K or so. But again, you might see a deal come in for Moon Moon that is well above $30,000 to $40,000. I know broadcasters that have 1,000 to 2,000 CCVs that get paid $20,000 for a sponsorship. It is not. There are so many considerations to this, right? What we're doing is trying to provide a general price, and as we go down, you'll see that like for small broadcasters and mid-sized broadcasters, this is where this really shines. But I have a particular friend who shall remain nameless, who has a niche market. They stream in a category that they own. The game that they're the authority on that game, okay? And when other games that are trying to get exposure in that category go to that person, they say, well, we really want you, and that person goes, great, my rate is $1 bazillion, and they pay it because this person has like total control over that niche. Okay, that's just smart marketing, right? So they have a advantage that drives their price up, right? So there are situations where this calculator may not quantify or account for. Likewise with Moon, for example, there's a situation where like he just doesn't accept sponsorships. This guy doesn't take sponsorships. He's never taken a sponsorship in his life. So if he did take one, you could say, hey, this is a premium sponsorship, but you're going to pay me $50K, right? And that's how much I would do this for. Okay, everyone has a number probably. So like Moon's number is probably quite high, but I think if I rolled in there with like $500,000, quarter, we start talking. Depends on how much ad budget I want to throw it at. I'm just kidding, brands. Okay, I wouldn't do that. So, but if somebody really wanted him, somebody calls me up. That happens. Like somebody calls me up and says, "You need to get me Moon, no matter what it takes." And I am literally on a yacht right now calling you on my satellite phone, and no matter what it takes to get this guy, I've had those phone calls, and so like sometimes I have ad budget to run against a person that's absurd, and you do whatever it takes. So there are situations, but that's just kind of keep in mind. So now let's kind of like move down to like the more like realistic broadcasters that more encompass like the 1 to like 7,500 range. That's sort of the bulk of like live streaming, and we'll start to get an idea of how these prices start to make a lot of sense. Okay, so let's take a person like Ben. Who's Ben, you ask? Ben is the best Path of Exile player in the world. He is a phenomenal broadcaster. He's a person that I love watching, though I lurk in his chat. I don't. Path of Exile is like my favorite game of all time. Ben is sitting at a 2,400 CCV, and at an hourly rate, he is about like 3.5 to 7. Again, like based on the number of calls to action he does. Okay, super realistic number. This is about what I'd pay for Ben. I'd try to get him, somewhere in that mid range. Likewise, like we can go like to somebody like Artosis, who's just a bit smaller. Artosis is a phenomenal StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 broadcaster who his stream really has to be seen to be believed. I'm not exactly sure how to describe to you what an Artosis stream is. Just go there and good luck. It's amazing though. Anyway, so he's sitting about half. Likewise, you would pay anywhere between 1.8 to 3.6. However, Artosis is a brand in of himself. He has a lot of stuff going for him in the StarCraft world, so he might demand a premium for his type of stuff because he has like limited inventory. Okay, so you start to see these prices. These prices are getting like really realistic. And then we'll go down to step below that. My boy Garotha. So Garotha averaging a nice 300 CCVs over time. Path of Exile streamer, fantastic. I play one build from Garotha every league for Path of Exile. Is running at the like 750 to 1500 range, super realistic. So you can see like these numbers become like much more realistic as we go down. Okay, so let's go down to like some super small people. Let's go to like my boy Koibu, who in my opinion is one of the best DMs on Twitch. He's right up there with Matt Mercer, just less acknowledged. But he's sitting at a good 40 concurrent viewers, and so he's sitting at a nice rate of like $100 to $200 for like a sponsorship or something like that. Okay, now again, he might be able to chalk that up, and like at this level of broadcaster, Koibu might just be like, hey, just give me 1K or give me 1 or 2,000, and like these numbers are almost not worth negotiating because while this is the official rate of a person like that, oftentimes brands will pay quite a bit more in order to just secure like a very specific thing. Koibu, for example, being a dungeon master and being an incredible one, would get something like a Wormwood sponsorship or something like maybe a Sourcebook sponsorship or something like that, and he'd be able to up a premium on that. Okay, but for any broadcaster that like doesn't have that kind of like niche ability, they might be in this rate. Okay. So let's answer some questions about just general fact type of questions that I to kind of close this out that I think people will want to know and will be very helpful in considering like sponsorship, kind of everything else you kind of need to know. So the common question that is why is there a high variance? Okay, now as discussed, that's an issue about CTAs and calls to action. There is just so much importance on calls to action that the number of calls to action basically exclusively defines the variance of a deliverable. Some other things you might notice is like if we go back up to like Ben, and we take him, for example, and we look between the hourly rate and the monthly rate, you might say, oh, like that variance, that's like not that much different. So for this one, it's like 3,500 to 7,000, and then it's 8,004 to 16,000 for a monthly rate. So why is it the case that like the rate of sponsorship for somebody hourly and monthly, why isn't the rate for monthly much higher? Okay, so like likewise here, 6 to 17. This one's like 14 to 39. Well, there's actually a lot of considerations here, and so that might surprise you. That is that like here. I'll write what I wrote for it and the question. So you do about as many CTAs for a brand in a hourly session as you do in like a whole month. A month sponsorship, as far as live streaming is concerned, is generally considered to be rather passive. You kind of put something in an info section, you have an ad display, but you're kind of just like doing your thing on stream. You're not always talking about it. Maybe you have like 1 or 2 days that are dedicated to like deliverables where you're doing like an unboxing or you're doing like a giveaway or something. But mostly like the reason why hourly is usually quite a bit higher is because that is like all you are doing during that period of time is this advertisement for that brand. So that entire hour, and these are also often sold in packages of 2. So very rarely do you get like 1 hour sponsorship. Like almost always like a 2 hour sponsorship, and like it's about 2 hour sponsorship, and usually goes to about 4 hours maximum. I've seen a little bit more being paid hourly, like 6 to 8 for like whole day long takeovers. Sometimes it's like games as a service models. Like I've already forgotten what the name of it was, but that DC game that came out, that was a live as a service model, the Squad game or something that had like Evil Superman, because Evil Superman isn't overdone. Don't let me rant on that though. But yeah, focus. Okay, get a little bit angry about DC stuff lately. Make a good movie. Hopefully, Superman Legacy is good. All right, keep going. Surprised that monthly and hourly sponsorships are so close. Yeah, hourly CTA is just going to be so much more intense, right? You're just going to spend your entire time talking about this or doing this thing in an hour, whereas on the month, you're just kind of chilling. So months are still worth more. Now, like, I actually think, though, that this is like a kind of, if you remember previously, I told you that 90% of sponsorships that are done on live streaming platforms are basically all in the form of these hourly sponsorships. It is my opinion that the brand almost always gets more value from a monthly sponsorship. Because one, you can kind of code the deliverables into the monthly that look like it's hourly if you do it right, if you really know your stuff. And then two, like the churn of exposure in a community, usually about like 20 or 30% of the viewership in an average live stream is different month over month than it was when it started. Meaning that like there's 20 to for every 10 people that are in a live stream, 2 or 3 new people are going to be back there representing that concurrent viewer count within 30 days. So you get exposed to a lot more people over time doing these monthly campaigns. So I don't know why more people don't run. I do know why more people don't run monthly campaigns, because they don't understand stuff like this. Like most people are talent agencies that don't really have a lot of information about how this stuff actually works, or they're not able to look at deals at scale like we can. So yeah, monthlies are almost always better. That's why that number is close. Here's a big question. Should I take a sponsorship as a small streamer, or what size should I start considering taking sponsorships? Well, let me tell you some stuff, okay? If you can take monthly sponsorships at a small size, you should probably do it. Because monthly sponsorships, you get paid more, you can set your terms, they're more passive, and you can, most importantly, focus on growth. I mean, even the brand can like generate engagement for you. If you're like a 4,200 viewer streamer, them bringing in 5,200 people for you is significant, right? So those partnerships can also be growth-based for you, even if they don't pay a lot. But what you ought to do as a small broadcaster is you should focus on building a funnel, okay? So funnel is a marketing concept. Draw an ice cream cone. Top funnel, that's like where people are discovering you. Mid funnel, this is how people get involved in your community, so like a Discord. Bottom funnel, this is how people pay you, right? So like something like a subscription or a donation or something like that. most of these small to medium broadcasters should be focused on retention. They should be focused on driving viewers down the funnel to the mid funnel to get them involved in like a Discord and get them engaged so that they keep coming back. They should not focus on sponsorship and monetization as a main monetization model. Just focus on growth instead. But if you can do a product that you genuinely love and like you just use it all the time, absolutely take it. And you can start taking sponsorships immediately, basically, as long as you really like the product. Okay. And that kind of brings us down to, well, how do I find sponsors? Right. This is a question that I get all the time. I mean, like literally every week. And this is the Devin Nash special on this. Here it goes. Big secret technique. Walk around your house, pick 10 to 15 products, go to the website and email them. Just on God. That's it. I could probably make a whole video about it, but it's literally this simple. So many of these brands have either agencies like us that are waiting for people to activate with them. They have influencers. They have community managers. They're looking for UGC, like user-generated content, or they could be sold on it. They have some department that has a budget available immediately to do this. And if you just email info@ and be like, hey, this is me. This is my channel. I love this product. I use it every day. Here's a picture of me with it on my desk. I would love to advertise this for you. And I have like kind of a package put together for it. What would that take? Could we do this? Can you refer me to the right person? You'll get a huge response rate. It'll be incredible how few influencers actually email these companies. Generally, it's agencies like us that are emailing these influencers ad nauseum, trying to get them to do deals and trying to pay them. Okay, so they would love you to email them, and they would love it if you genuinely interact with their product and actually engage. They actually care about it. It's that easy. So just do a little bit of outreach, or have somebody that's on your team do it. If you have like a friend, or you have somebody that's like helping, or a moderator that's helping with your channel or something, you can get them to send those emails while you focus on growth and create content. Generally, even just doing like 1 to 3 emails a day, you'll get as many sponsors as you want, sub 1,000 CCVs. Again, you'd be really impressed like what these people would pay you also. I've seen through this methodology 50 to 100 viewer broadcasters getting 2-3K a month sponsorships, just totally clearing out their expenses and being able to cover themselves and run full time just on that for multiple months. Because you don't want to, I'll say something really important. This is not in the script, but you don't want to underestimate the value that brands have for user-generated content. So if you are a authentic person that's sitting there, like I was for like the water that I drank, and I'm just going crazy about this water, it actually doesn't matter if I have like 50 to 100 viewers, because the video doesn't show the viewers, right? Like if somebody clips me talking about that water, and it's 30 seconds long, and that gets sent to a marketing VP that's at the top level of the water brand, and they're like, oh my God, people love our product. Like, do you know how much that's worth? Like, that's worth thousands and thousands of dollars. So don't just think like, oh, just because I have like low CCV or I have like low amount of viewers, I can't get sponsored, I can't do things. There's a ton of value to be had, and like user-generated content's really authentic. If you go onto it like TikTok, there's tons of people that get paid a lot of money to talk about products authentically. Be like, man, I love this thing, or I love this product, and like I use it all the time. I get paid thousands of dollars just for those activations. So there's a lot you can do. And if you want to learn more about like how to put like a package like that together, or how to like build that, my Patreon has all those answers. Like actually, like sorry for the shill, but it actually does. Like there's just for $5 you could just sign up there and you could get every answer you could possibly want about how to price sponsorships and literally deliver those. And if you want to go a step further than that, our masterminds have covered this subject as well for like 2 or 3 hour sessions on just exactly how to construct those emails. I believe mastermind number 50, which is available to anybody like tier 2 that pays like I think $15 a month or something. You can just get the whole catalog. It has a total guide on exactly what to write and what to email if you're kind of confused or you're a little bit afraid of doing it. So yeah, so that's all you do. What should I do if I'm an influencer and then I actually do one of these campaigns? Like, what's the follow-up? Like, what's the result? The number one thing you want to do is you want to ask the brand for results and engagement results, and have that so you can build a case study for your future sales. Pretty easy. Anything else that I kind of want to talk about or like gloss over? Yes, there is some anything else. Some just really important stuff that I think everybody should do, everybody should know as content creators. The first thing is just don't take on bad or scammy brands. Only partner with people you like. There will be a period of time that will come for you where you will get offers where people will pay you quite a bit of money or offer you quite a bit of money in exchange for something that you don't feel really good doing. It might be a certain product, it might be a certain service, but you just don't feel good about it. It's not something you actually authentically like to do. Do not do it. there is no amount of money that is worth betraying the trust of your audience. Once you scam your audience or rug pull your audience, you're done. And you'll basically never be trusted again for anything. There are influencers that do build their brands this way. I just don't think it's the way to do it. You know, those people are not going to watch a video like this or listen to this anyway. So I want to build my career being able to wake up and feel like I'm making a positive impact on people. And I have had that feeling for many years. I know how valuable it is as I've aged, that when I was younger, I could have made decisions that compromised the trust that people have in me. And as a result, videos like this today would be impossible. I'd be just like a scam artist, or I'd be like a guy that's like trying to screw people over. That sense of authenticity and that sense of trust is built over years of not taking those short-term opportunities and benefits, and instead just keeping your trust, keeping your authenticity, and treating your audience with respect, and also treating the brands that you work with respect. I promise you that this pays very high dividends. It doesn't look like it because there are a lot of influencers out there who are not doing this, and you might see them scamming their audience over and over again, and they're it looks like they're getting away with it, and it's like how like this guy's doing a crypto rug pull, or this guy's, and like, just to trust me, 99.9% of those people burn out very quickly. They disappear. They have no ability to ever recover because their identity is compromised. They've betrayed the trust of their audience, and they're donezo, right? There's a few other actors that are able to like stay at the top for a while, but everybody burns out, and it costs them everything to do it. You don't ever want to sell your soul. Always run above water. Just run a legit business. Respect your brand. Respect your audience. That would be my number one piece of advice for anybody that's like trying to think about taking sponsorships. Like, just don't go, like, no matter how tempting that money is, it's not worth like compromising your values ever. Like, there's always more money if you just decide to work hard and create more value in the sphere that you're in. Okay. So those are some general things, I think. And yep, you can go to novo.tv/Twitch sponsorship rate calculator. That is in the description of the video. You can just go click there. It might, I don't know about like our hosting service. Like when this video comes out, it might be a little bit hard to access, but probably by the time you're watching it, it'll be fine. It'll always stay there. It'll be free. No ads, no nothing like that. And then later on, we'll probably make another one for YouTube, and we'll do a similar video like that. Okay? So thank you, everybody, for supporting this channel. Thank you for being here with me. Please come to discord.gg/Devin if you want to come hang out and just talk more with me. There's a general chat there. There's like a bunch of business type stuff we go through. It's a really great Discord. Otherwise, I'll see you later for the next video, whatever that is. And thank you, everybody. Be well. I hope this is valuable to you. See you.